Okay, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. So this is a short little interview series that we're starting. We're speaking to various different members of the Somalis in tech community, asking them a few questions and getting to know them a bit better. So let's dive right in. The first question is, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Sagal Haji. I'm from the UK. I'm currently working in a company called Grabbox. It's a small little startup, and I work as a business development manager. Um, and how I got into this role was that I was working in another previous sales role at Just Eat, and then before that, I was working in an operations kind of role in Uber Eats. So I wasn't planning on getting into tech as I studied politics and international relations. I kind of just stumbled into this field, and then I noticed I was getting a lot of skills in the tech industry, and it was quite expanded quite rapidly, especially during lockdown. The industry has just started booming, and there was a lot of opportunity in there. So I just decided to stick into there and get into sales because there's more opportunities to succeed and progress in sales than there was in operations, especially because I didn't have any of the technical skills that you would need to get high positions in um, operations. So now I'm doing quite well, I'd say.
Well done. Yeah, it's definitely a good decision to pivot into that sector, I would say, like you said, especially during COVID, it's
Yeah.
absolutely booming. So the next question is, what new tech trends are you excited about?
Okay. I would say I'm really quite excited about food tech and the hospitality industry with tech because there's this big trend called dark kitchens, and you basically it's companies selling virtual brands to restaurants and allowing restaurants to make as much money as they can from kitchens that they haven't been using, especially during lockdown, the whole COVID situation. The hospitality industry has really taken a hit. Um, so dark kitchens allows them to just operate another brand with the same in the same building, and then they're able to use food delivery apps with it, and they just make twice the income in the same building. And I think that has just really helped restaurants. And there's a lot of opportunity in terms of companies because that's the company I work with right now. That's what we sell. So that's what I was quite interested in. And I'm also quite interested in AI. I've seen this big trend of deep fakes, and I just think it's so interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, interesting, I just learned something new. So I was familiar with dark kitchens, but I thought this was, the delivery companies coming up with their own, remote kitchens in spaces like, in car parks and things like that. I didn't know that now hospitality kitchens that were vacant are now getting in on the action. So thanks, I
Yeah,
learned something new today.
yeah, it's both. I would say that was how it was in the past. They still do that now, where they just get a random unit, they build a kitchen there, and then they just serve food out of there and to deliver it. But dark kitchens also helps these restaurants that have shut down and help them to make the most out of it, especially restaurants that were traditionally dine in. They've shifted to
Yes.
this to in order to adapt to the difficult situation.
Yeah, interesting stuff. So next, who inspires you and why?
I would say I say one of my Havarias, she inspires me. She was in Somalia, and then she moved to the USA to study to get her degree, and she works in nuclear engineering. And
Wow.
yeah, she really worked hard, and she became quite successful, and obviously a nice salary too. And I just thought, I was like, came she was went through a lot in her childhood, and she where she is now, she's really quite successful. And I think that's kind of what motivates me to just keep going, because I'm often in spaces where I'm the only Somali, I'm the only Muslim, or even the only hijabi, and it just makes me just want to keep going and keep progressing. I've actually changed my job twice in lockdown because I just wanted better for myself, and I think that's just what keeps me going. That I know I can do better.
Incredible, really inspiring story. Yes, firstly with your hobby, of course, and then
Yeah,
with yourself. We all know
yeah,
representation is so important. So,
definitely.
thank you for representing the community in your space.
Thank you.
So next is an interesting question. It's what failure has been your greatest lesson?
What failure? I would say in school I didn't do that well as I should have. I was predicted higher grades in
Mm.
high school and in sixth form. I don't know if you know those terms, but um, I didn't meet them, and then I ended up going to university that wasn't as high as I could have gone to,
Mm.
and in the UK, with the university that you go to really affects the type of graduate schemes that you could get into. So when I graduated with um, from University of Westminster and I got my politics and international relations degree, I actually wanted to get into the civil service. And it was very difficult for me to pass the exams, I think, because they saw where I came from or saw my grades. And I would say me just taking a gamble and then shifting into the tech industry taught me a lot, that just because this might not be good for you, but you could succeed somewhere else. And that once you found something that's working for you, that you should just stick to and keep going. So I would say it's never too late. If you didn't do that great in school, you can still do well.
Yeah, but it's very true, not to
Yeah.
kind of pigeonhole yourself and
Yeah,
to pivot to a new space, if one
exactly.
area kind of the door is closed, so to speak, and another one opens. So yeah, good move.
Yeah.
And the last question for you, Sagal, is what's next for you?
What's next? I would say I really do quite like sales. So
Mm.
what's next for me, I would say, is developing my skills in tech sales, and learning more about software sales, learning more about how to sell dark kitchens and work my way up so that I become a manager and just, I don't know, just progress. I would say people are doing really well in sales and it's extremely hard to do. So I think if I just keep hitting my targets, keep doing well, I'll get something out of it.
Absolutely, inshallah khair. And
Inshallah.
that concludes our session together. Is there anything else you would like to add and share with the Somalis in tech community?
I would say that I would say don't feel, I guess I know we're probably the one of the first people when we go into these industries, we won't see people like us, and that we shouldn't let that discourage us or intimidate us from doing the best that we can, because um you've just got to believe in yourself, and you'll see people trying to put you down, try to discourage you, but you shouldn't listen to anybody. That's my
Yeah,
advice.
that's great advice. Thank you.
Thank you.